Hi there, Nicholas from MultiMinds here. In this video, we will take a look at the benefits of creating your own analytics platform. At first, it might seem like a weird or even impossible thing to do. For most businesses, it isn't even a choice. For small and mid-sized companies, Google Analytics is the default choice, with Yandex Metrica or Matomo as alternatives if you're a little bit more adventurous. Enterprise companies tend to go for Adobe Analytics or Google Analytics 360. Now, unless you're a fast-growing startup or small to medium-sized business, the default choice is probably the best one. Google Analytics covers most of your reporting needs, and it's free and fairly easy to set up. The investment and time it would take and resources to create your own platform is just too high. But for enterprise companies, it might just make sense to consider building your own analytics platform. So maybe first look at the reasons why companies tend to choose proprietary vendors like Google Analytics or Adobe for their analytics needs. First, it's the only thing they know. Marketeers have been using Google Analytics for years, they know how to use it, it's a safe choice. Second, the choice for a digital analytics platform is not part of the general data strategy. The CMO or marketeers think it only needs to serve their own needs, and the digital analytics platform is decoupled from the rest of the operational data strategy. Third, the marketing department has zero technical people. They wouldn't know how or where to begin. So, in a nutshell, the choice is self-serving with an aversion to change and innovation. Not a winning mentality, in my opinion. So, let's take a closer look at those reasons one by one. The safe choice. Well, the impact for the day-to-day marketeer is not going to change much. It's not going to be different than making a change from Google Analytics to Adobe Analytics. It takes a while to get comfortable with a new interface, and some concepts might be slightly different, but the overall friction should be minimal. The same goes for using a custom-built analytics platform. Marketeers might be afraid of suddenly having to write complex queries, but that's simply not the case. What's more, the marketeer might already have the skills. Building your own platform comes with the freedom of choosing your own reporting and analysis tool. Most marketeers will already be familiar with either Tableau, ClickView, Power BI, or even Google Data Studio. And about not being part of the overall data strategy, this is something we see a lot and can be a very costly mistake. Data is fast becoming one of the most valuable assets a company can have. And digital analytics data is not just key to the marketing department. Lots of other departments could use that data to drive value or improve the overall customer experience. Connectivity and data flexibility are usually just an afterthought for Google or Adobe. Sure, they both have options to sync with BigQuery or S3 buckets, but the functionality is limited. In reality, marketeers will end up sharing Excel files, which is insecure, inefficient, and very, very tedious. This is not how you should supply the rest of your company with analytics data. And the last reason might be the most painful one. An enterprise company with no technical people on the marketing team or an IT team actively supporting the marketing team is pretty much screwed from the get-go. If you don't have any technical people in your marketing team, you either need to hire some or contract a company like MultiMinds. Digital marketing has become a technical profession and needs technically skilled people. So, with all that in mind, let's go over some of the advantages of creating your own analytics platform. First, flexibility and scalability. Building your own platform gives you ultimate flexibility. You choose the components and the technology, be it a combination of cloud services or a set of open source solutions running on a Kubernetes cluster. A good architecture will be infinitely scalable as well, and for a fraction of the cost of scaling a vendor solution. Also, you define the data model from the ground up. The constraints of predefined data models of vendor solutions can be a real hassle. In our experience, companies spend a whole lot of time trying to fit their data onto the model, which sometimes feels like a square peg trying to fit in a round hole. An enterprise company can have a myriad of digital touchpoints with different complexities, not always in the form of websites or apps. A modern analytics platform has to deal with that, and traditional vendors aren't doing that. They're stuck in a very page-centric model that's not all that relevant anymore in today's digital landscape. And like I mentioned before, digital analytics data isn't just there to serve marketeers. That data can be essential to other roles and departments as well. For the BI team, detecting fraud patterns, customer support getting a full 360 view of the customer, the UX or dev team solving some kind of usability problem, or the data science team building customer models for advanced targeting. It is essential that these teams can consume clickstream data in an automated and structured way. Having your own ETL pipeline for clickstream data will allow you to service those teams by connecting directly with their systems. And the other way around also creates opportunities to enrich your digital analytics data with other first-party data from within the company, like CRM or offline sales data. And what about tracking 100% of your visitors? The reality today is that browsers are now competing and differentiating themselves on privacy features. It's not just blocking third-party cookies anymore. Browsers will start recognizing trackers for big vendors. Even if you host them on your first-party domain, they will still be detected. Being part of your own architecture, ad blockers and browsers will never be able to block or prevent tracking if you configure your data collection correctly. And another advantage is speed. Data processing by any of the big vendors, be it Adobe or Google, is slow, very slow for today's standards. There's just no way to perform streaming analytics, and real-time reporting is gimmicky at best. Streaming analytics is the future, and it opens a lot of new possibilities for data activation, making your customer experience context-aware and making decisions in real time. Historical reporting still matters, but it's streaming analytics and prescriptive analytics that will give you the competitive advantage. And finally, cost. Initially, you might think this is a disadvantage, but if you look at it as an investment over time, it will actually be the cheapest solution. Yes, the initial cost of your own analytics platform will probably be higher than the license fee you're paying for a big vendor solution. But cloud resources today are dirt cheap, and there's no license fee to pay for your own analytics platform. And is it even fair to compare? Even if it would be slightly costlier, you get a whole lot more bang for your buck building your own system. So in conclusion, building your own analytics platform has a whole slew of advantages over going with one of the big vendors. It might seem daunting at first, but I promise you, if you take the time and effort to consider the idea, you might find that it's the best option on the table for your enterprise. Thank you.